Good day, everybody, and welcome to today's episode on my YouTube video series on Malaysian property and retirement in Malaysia. And today we're going to share an interesting topic, which is finally we have a new landed property launch in Iskandar Putri. I believe this is the first new landed launch in 2024 in Iskandar Putri. Yeah, all the rest are considered last year launch, alright. So this project is called the Kews, Kews. Now, this the Qs is actually located next to Leisure Farm in Iskandar Putri, so it's actually only about 5 minutes drive to Second Link, so it's actually quite near Singapore, right? So if you come out from Singapore, Second Link, right, is more or less on your right a little bit just after you cross the immigration. So this project is quite near Singapore, right? Next to Leisure Farm. The total land size is actually about 260 acres, was split into several phases. So the first phase will have terrace houses, right? And the sizes that we are given is 20 by 70 feet, 22 by 80 feet, and 22 by 90 feet. So okay sizes, right? And at the back of each house is actually a 20-foot back garden. And we understand basically all of phase one will be landed property. Actually, all subsequent phases should be landed property. And actually, they will be doing generally terrace houses first, and eventually they'll do cluster homes and progressively the bigger sizes, semi-Ds, and so on, right? But first phase today, we have a terraces, which will be launching soon later this year. And we have been given the green light to start to take pre-registration for buyers who are interested. So this project is actually freehold land and is developed by a renowned developer. Actually, this developer is the same developer that did Senibong Cove in Pemas Jaya, also the same developer that did Crest at Austin in Austin. So they already have a good track record in Johor Bahru. And actually, if you see people who own Senibong Cove or Crest at Austin, I think everybody generally has a favorable reviews of their products and of the developer. This developer actually is originally from Australia, so the build quality not bad, and they incorporate some of those Australian living style, right? So you expect good quality finishes, good build quality, as per what you see so far in Senibong Cove and Crescent Austin. So I think it's a good developer, right? No real developer risk here. Strong track record in Johor Bahru so far. So comes the question of why should you buy the queues? What are the reasons that you will be interested to buy this project? Okay, so number one is actually this is because it's landed. Okay, so if you guys have been paying attention to new landed launches in Johor, actually they have been selling out pretty well. A lot of these projects don't even reach Singapore, right? Because the locals themselves are buying out the properties quite fast. Right, there's not many supply in the first place. Like even this project, right, the first phase I think is only about 100 200 units only of the landed property, so it's not that many landed properties ultimately. And like I said, a lot of the Malaysians buy them out themselves. So if you're a Singaporean or foreigner and you're keen to buy a new launch landed, right, I suggest you come and pre-register for the launch, right? So you can at least buy at the early bird price, right? And you can do progressive payment as a project reconstruction. So this project, normally landed property construction period is about 2 to 3 years, right? So if you have no urgency to get the property, you get this property in 2 3 years, 2 to 3 years time and completed, and again by a renowned developer. Another reason why for Singaporean buyers, you want to buy a new launch because the other issue is that quota for foreigner normally quite small at the new launch, right? Resale is easy to buy for foreigner, but for landed, right, the quota for foreigner typically is like 10-20%. So it's not easy for a foreigner to get a new launch landed sometimes. So by the time you go, right, like recently in Eco Botanic 2 case, right, all gone already. There's no more foreigner quota. So you try to buy at the foreign quota in the beginning, right, it's not easy. You do have to be early lah. So there are not many choices, and as I said, the queues is probably the first new launch landed in 2024 in this area, right? So if you want to buy new launch for foreigner or Singaporean, you have to come in early. Number two is location. Now this is in a good location next to Leisure Farm, right? If you like low density living, you like green, quiet environment, right? This is the place for you. Leisure Farm. And generally, this area is quite famous for this, right? It's very quiet, it's very green, very nice. You wake up in the morning, you can hear the birds chirping, you can hear the cicadas chirping, right? It's a nice place if you want the relaxation and the quiet area, right? Which what Johor Bahru usually able to offer in all these landed living estates, right? So this project, gated guarded, right? It's good security, good design, good quality, right? So in a quiet, nice green environment, right? So if you like this kind of living, right? This project, the queues, I'm quite sure is will be built towards that format in this location. And also one more thing good about this location, right, is that as I mentioned, it's very near to Singapore, right? 5 minutes drive you can get to Singapore already. Also, there is an upcoming interchange, right? When you come up from the highway, right? This interchange actually has been delayed. Supposed to complete last year. Now they keep dragging. I don't know why. Has been delayed, but I know progress is still ongoing. There'll be interchange opening up very near to the queues, which should happen this year. If they drag any further, I don't know what to say. But this this interchange will open up, makes it a lot easier for you to go to Second Link, right? And this interchange will be opening soon. And part of this interchange is also another road that will connect from Leisure Farm area into Medini, right? So you can easily enter Medini through one more road access at the back. I'll show it all on the map over here, right? All these connections, right? So there's actually upcoming infrastructure upgrade, right? That will help improve the value of this place and connectivity, right? Also, if you are driving, right, it's only about 5-10 minutes drive to Galampata Old Town, right? Galampata Old Town is you can get a lot of good seafood, right? There's two very famous seafood restaurants there, a number of other less famous ones, also a lot of kopitiam and that kind of kampong living, like if you like. Okay, it's maybe a 10-minute drive to Eco Botanic and maybe 15-20 minutes drive to Bukit Indah itself, half an hour drive to the town center, right? Maybe half an hour to 45 minutes, depending on traffic, right? So, but of course, you want to go to Singapore by Second Link, it's very near, right? As I mentioned, just 5-minute drive, you turn out, you enter Second Link itself. So in that times, that's the location basically for this project, right? Within for the queues. Third reason, as I mentioned earlier, is the developer. So this developer is originally from Australia. It's the same developer that did Senibong Cove, same developer that did Crest Austin. So they have a good track record. As I mentioned, Australian developer. So they have incorporated a lot of Angmo element and good build quality. I think so far, as I mentioned, everybody has normally positive things to say about these developers' projects. Another thing also buying about Iskandar Putri is that the potential return of the high-speed rail. Now, since this project is actually not too far from the high-speed rail station location, I think drive-wise, you're talking about 5-10 minute drive to the high-speed rail station in the future. Now, high-speed rail, I know is still a little bit speculative thing, as I mentioned in my earlier videos, but we are quite certain that high-speed rail will have some kind of development or further announcement later this year, and possibly into 2025 you will see something more concrete, right? So if the high-speed rail does come back, I'm quite sure this entire part of Iskandar Putri will boom because you are quite near the high-speed rail station. Not exactly walking distance, but drive is very near, 5 maximum 10-minute drive to the high-speed rail location. So if you are a buyer who want to speculate on the high-speed rail return, right, this project, the queues, is quite near the high-speed rail location, right? And high-speed rail, of course, will link to Jurong East in Singapore and all the way to Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, right? So it's a quite important infrastructure project and where you can get high potential upside when this thing happens. So you may ask me, Ryan, how is the pricing and other competitor products around this area compared to the queues, right? Now, if I show you basically what are the other landed projects around here, right, you will notice that the nearest probably are those projects which are in Galampata, right, by other developers like Tropicana and UM Sunrise. Generally, they are now secondary market, they're selling around 700 plus thousand, right, all the way to northern Galampata, which is a bit deeper, right? This is generally the market range right now for terrace homes. And they are generally pushing upwards, right? Yeah, 7XXK, right? The specs will be lower than the queues. Of course, these houses are not as nice specifications as the queues are. They were very catered for local market buyer, right? But generally in the 700 XX thousand range. If you go towards Horizon Hills, you're probably buying a terrace house. Resale is about 800 plus thousand now, all the way to above 1 million for the newer ones, right? This is for terrace houses. If you go to Estuary Gardens, you are talking about minimum 1.2, 1.3 million ringgit because of a Putri Harbour address, right? If you go to Nusa Central, which was the most recent launch in this area, I think Nusa Central now also initially sold 900 plus thousand, now also around a million, and they're also fully sold. Eco Botanic Phase 1, I think they only have cluster 1.2 million minimum, right? That also don't know still have or not. Eco Botanic 2, which is also generally fully sold now, also 1.1 over million plus in Eco Botanic 2, right? So nothing cheaper than 1 million in Eco Botanic right now. East Ladang also is terrace houses around 1 million plus plus. If you go to Medini of course is cheaper. You can buy the terraces resale in Sunway about 800 plus thousand ringgit. Avira's new one is about 800 plus 1 million ringgit, depending on the phase. So, but all of Medini, of course, is leasehold, right? But you can see that the floor range for generally for most landed in this area is already very near 1 million, right? Other than the further away houses like you see on this map here, then you can probably get about 700 plus. And if you notice, if you compare in JB overall, right, this location is considered quite quite far lah, right? Gelang Patah, if you compare to JB City Centre. Of course, if you compare to Tuas Second Link, this is still not so bad, right? But it depends on how developed that area is lah. The more developed the area, more wang 的地方, then of course the prices will be higher. So the queues will be selling around, we understand the pricing will be minimum 1 million ringgit for the terrace houses, so foreigner eligible. So if you're Singaporean, you want to buy the queues, right? You can buy the queues, no problem. The prices move up 1 point something million a little bit for terrace houses. So in line with other projects in the area, right? Since you're going to get a superior specification product. Now, you may be wondering, Ryan, can you share any facade drawing or any 3D or other drawings from the developer? I can't share that with you right now because technically speaking, this project doesn't have APDL right now, which is a license to advertise. So we are doing like previews right now. But we understand by the mid of July, right, which is this month, we only have a 1 week actually, the developer will start to launch early bird launches with early bird pricing, right? So if you're keen, please send me an email to this email address, contact us at alphamarketingsg.com. Please indicate your name, your phone number, and your email address so that I can have a more private discussion with you, show you more information that I cannot share here online, and we can have a discussion about how to book if you are keen to book the loan process and so on and so forth, right? Because this developer has a style where they tend to have buyers for all the units before they launch. So by the time they launch, all units fully sold. So that's how they have done it in the past for Crest at Austin. So the sales model for this project seems to be the same, right? They will not be they won't wait to launch, right? By launch, everything already sold. That's their style. So if you're keen to buy, I suggest you send me an email quickly or drop me a WhatsApp at my number 81261626. I will arrange a more private discussion with you on how to proceed to book for this project because we are taking earlier inquiries, especially if you want to get the early bird pricing, right, which I think is very important. And this early bird is a real early bird pricing. I think if you wait for launch day, it's already too late. Okay, so yeah, let me know if you're keen. As I mentioned, contact us at alphamarketingsg.com. Please send an email here and I will follow up with you thereafter. Okay, so I'm quite excited of this because this is a very rare new launch in Johor Bahru. It's probably the first one this year in 2024. I think there's maybe one more this year. At minimum, I know there's one more. Later this year is Iskandar Putri. Not that many landed properties to launch in Iskandar Putri going forward. As a lot of land has been taken up. We might not see another one until 2025 also for you, let me know. Yeah, for other new landed projects. So if you're keen, let me know. Right, I know some of you who watch my YouTube channel are keen to buy landed property. So if you're keen to consider a new launch, yeah, please contact me. Okay, if you like our content on YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe, and share with your fellow friends. I will add more creative content, interesting content for those of you following my YouTube channel. Thank you very much for watching, and bye bye.